Alright everybody, welcome back to CCLP1 in black and white. I am aware this has been a little while since I've done this, so I gotta kind of get back into the groove of this beautiful looking map we got. Ride schedule today: Carousel, Ghost Train, Funhouse, Ghost Train, Mirror Room, and Fireball Show. Alright, so this is Fun Fair. This one's by Tom Patton, who is still around. I recently saw them in a Tom Brown stream, which shout out to him. Okay, this is a little dicey. I'm kind of surprised this stayed like this for the set. Like, that's not easy, even for a player like me, you know? But if it was intended to be dangerous like that, then hey. Okay, where am I going next? What key do I have? Is this a red key? I think it's a red key. Because red's all the way on the left. Blue is second, yellow is third, and the green key is always the last one. Okay, we go through here. So yeah, it's been a while since I've recorded, and I must confess something. I did actually record this video previously, about a month and a half ago, close to 2 months ago, all the way back in April. And it was, you know, there was nothing really wrong with it. It did this to level 100 as it did. I didn't really have any notable, you know, Joshy certified moments where I fumbled somewhere silly or nothing like that. But the thing that made me decide to redo it completely was
bummer.
Dying on the walker. That is why I did it. That is why I did not pursue the recording. Okay, death count goes up to 20. Way to go. Way to go. And we get the timer starting at 499. Thanks, MSCC. Actually, that might still be 500. It just starts at the very tippy top of 499. But no, the reason why I didn't publish it and decided to redo it completely was because there was a topic that I didn't really feel comfortable posting. After I watched it back and everything, I kind of realized there was something I had spoken of that really should not have been said on camera, just out of respect for the individual. And it wasn't someone like relevant to anyone in the community. It's not Chips Challenge related in the slightest, so that kind of made it more so that it just didn't fit in the context of this series. I mainly only brought it up because it was largely just filling the dead air that happens in these videos. And it was just on my mind at the time. And initially when I brought it up, I really didn't think anything negative of it. And I didn't really say anything negative. It was the TLDR of it is I spoke about someone's death, and or someone that I used to know passed away, and I didn't feel comfortable posting it in the public spot, you know, just presenting those feelings and stuff like that. Like, it's really no one's business. It's really not what people are watching these lovely videos for, which, you know, I do have to say thank you to to the few of you that do. There is probably way more than I realize, and won't be able to properly recognize for a while. But I do want to make sure, you know, you guys are getting decently fed well, I guess. I don't know. And I'm bad at recording. Like, I'm bad at keeping up with recordings. Like, I let a lot of personal feelings about myself stop me from recording a lot of the time, and I really, really shouldn't keep doing that to myself. But I am working on it as best as I can. Alright, so this is Shuttle Run. This is a strictly timed item swapper level. Probably the epiphany of item swappers in CCLP history, possibly. Or at least of this set. Like, this uses every key, this uses every boot, this uses 2 of the 4 buttons. Okay, I hope we can make it. We should. Alright, 2 seconds left. Not bad. Actually, it is bad. The bolt time is 8, so take it that way, how you want to. Alright, secret passages. Okay, I don't really remember this level too well. But I think there's a gimmick of pathways. I can't remember. I can't remember if the keys are all necessary or if you just get enough to unlock them all. Okay, can I not get out of this room from any other direction? Okay. So I think the trick is there's significance to the amount of chips in each room. Is that how it works? Psst. There's a pattern for figuring out how many ways there are out of each room, Chip. Yeah, it's the chip count in each of the rooms. Okay, well I didn't have to take the keys into that room. That's okay. I can't imagine they're strict in this. I mean, maybe if this was in CCLP5, it probably would be strict. Okay, is that 5 chips? Okay, sure. Yeah, I had a feeling it was up here. I like that you go around the room like that. That's cool. That's one thing about these kinds of levels, of these appearing blue wall levels. I know they're not blue in this tile set, but you get to do some fun subversion stuff with these tiles. And I just love it. And oofing out on everything it's always been satisfying to me. I know I've said this case 100 times, but it bears repeating. Okay, 7 chips left. I guess I could have gone up that pathway. Okay, one chip in here. Where did I miss a chip? Down here? Yeah. Alright, and it looks like I was correct. The keys are not strictly needed. Well, they are, but you don't need them all. You get, I guess you get enough to complete the, unlock everything, which is a cool thing to do. I do like that. Okay, elevators. I will say, in that abandoned recording, I struggled like crazy on this level. I think I restarted like 8 times on this, so this accumulated the death count substantially. Because I just could not wrap my head around what I was missing. So let's see if I do the same thing again. Okay, I think you do want to skip that. Okay, and I think the trick was you had to cut across over here early. And it looks like I lost my light source on to the side of me. And it looks like I failed miserably. Cool. Okay, let's add death. And let me fix this light source real quick. I'm not sure why it does this. Okay, that's too bright. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the light source on this side to me is new. It's usually on... Yeah, see, there it goes again. Okay, I'll just leave it off for the rest of the video. That's fine. But the reason it was there was just to add more lighting on this side of my face. Okay, I want to say this is where... This is where you have to cut across. Okay, yep, that's what you do. Okay, so I just fumbled at that for the longest time in that video, and yeah, it took up like 15 minutes. It was actually kind of embarrassing, but even that wasn't the reason. It was just, you know, talking about something that just shouldn't have been talked about on a camera, and I could have cut it out. I think the level I talked about it on was the shifting maze, which you can kind of see how it came up, is because, you know, those block pushing levels, they're very susceptible to having a bunch of dead air content. Like, I'm not going to talk about a lot of stuff. And nothing CC related was on my mind at the time, so...
Bummer.
Cool. But yeah, I think it was the right decision to do that. Like, already I feel happier with this video. And I'm very happy to be playing Flipside, which is a JB level. Which is very fitting because he tends to say, "See you on the flip side." It's also a notable Super Paper Mario location, though I doubt that has any influence on the level name. Super Paper Mario is a fun game. Kind of a random thing to say, but I do remember having a lot of fun playing Super Paper Mario. It's very different compared to the traditional Paper Mario games. But I think that's what I like about it. I'm not sure I would have enjoyed Super Paper Mario in the traditional RPG format. I think someone actually made a mod of the game that changes the battle system completely to be an RPG format. But anyway. Alright, flip side is complete. Very fun level to play. Chip used to spend his time programming computer games and making models, but that was just practice for this brainbuster. And got the decking message for the level 81 slot. Colors for Extreme by our good old pal Tyler. Okay, so I don't remember everything about this one. Apparently I have to get that chip first, which I could have done. I didn't think about that.
Bummer.
Yeah, I could have done that. I didn't. I overlooked that completely. Okay. You know, if he hadn't designed this today, there would not be chips in this level. Oh, I thought I could beat it, man.
Bummer.
Alright. We'll do it the safe way. Yeah, there absolutely would not be chips in this level if this was designed today. Although I could be wrong. I'm not sure when the whole zero chips movement started with Tyler. Uh-oh. Oh, come on. Really? It's eating my inputs. Yeah, every time I oofed on that wall, it would eat my up input. Thanks, MSCC. I like to think I have a fairly neutral stance on the zero chips movement, if I can publicly say that. I'm kind of like in the middle of the road. I think if there's an opportunity to use no chips, you know, obviously that's probably the best way to do it. But I like to see chips as not just some collectible that that you have to collect throughout the level. I like to see chips as being okay, what are you hitting? You're hitting the tank button. It's kind of like another way of using a lock, I guess. Like, it's an easy way to... I can't remember. I guess the pop-up balls tell me to push it down. So where do I go with this block? I guess I take it this way? I think this room is broken. I think you can bust this room a bit. But I don't know how to do it, and I'm not gonna bother trying. But like, say like with red keys, for example, every red or just keys in general, you put like 20 red keys, you're gonna need 20 red locks to use them all, or I guess in this case a key thief if it's CC2. But with chips, you can have 20 chips and only one lock. And I think that's a fair use case. I don't think you needed that block. I think you could have just... Didn't I hit... I thought I hit the button. Oh, I am so stupid. I'm so stupid. Wow. Oh my god. I built the bridge to the wrong button. I was supposed to push it this right here. Wow, I am a loser for not seeing that. Nope, I missed the timing again.
Bummer.
Fun. Okay, okay, this is a level we're accumulating deaths on. That almost was another one right there. Okay, lock in, Joshy, lock in. The whole zero chips thing completely shifted my mentality. Okay, didn't eat my input that time. Thank you for that. Yeah, the title is called Colors for Extreme, but in this case, I don't see any color, so I guess this is just black and white extreme, I guess. Black and white for extreme. Okay, we're 24 minutes into the video, just about, and I'm not even 6 levels in. We're gonna be in for a long haul today, folks. Okay, I didn't remember if that was tanks or not. Aw. Okay, I guess I see 2 ways you can do this, theoretically. So I think if I did it this way, because you accomplish the same thing. Oop. Yeah. Okay, so queso is a cheese, if you weren't familiar with that. So we push this block. Actually in the right freaking water tile. And then we can get this key. By the way, this wall layout is incredible. I had a lot of fun making piston it away with this template, and I'm happy it got into CCLP5. That level is fantastic. Red with a twist, orange of the fire, green of tourmaline, and metal yellow, hello, hello. That is Colors for Extreme. Amazing level, one of my favorites in CCLP1. Alright, Launch. By our good old pal Zane. This is where CCLP1 got quite creative, for lack of a better word, of the space storyline in CCLP1. I guess Colors for Extreme was like that encryption, like secret code style level with the locks and stuff. And completing that level allows you to board the rocket ship or steal the rocket ship. I don't remember what the storyline entails, but you come to this level and you launch into space, explore the sun, because Chip can absolutely do that, but not freaking swim without flippers. And you hover around the rocket ship you just escaped and roam across the moon, and you have beautiful random force to screw optimizers over, and that's your level. I vibe with it. Very fun. And now we are on Ruined World. You have now entered a world that has been naturally ruined. All chips are under blocks. What was bro cooking with that hint? Who knows? This is one of my levels. One of the very first levels. Because this was a Josh L1 level. And it's quite bizarre. It is certainly a level I designed. Certainly not my finest moment. I'd say this is my second least favorite level of mine in this set, after Grass is Greener. I think it was either that or Going Underground I was contending for, but I don't know. I think Going Underground at least looks nicer. I mean, call me crazy. And I apparently missed a chip, which I don't think I've ever done in my life on this level. So that's fantastic. Hopefully it's not either of those. Wow, where did I miss a chip at? It had to have been one of these. Oh, brother.
Bummer.
I don't even know if it was one of those or not. That's insane I died on this level. Alright, let's just go through this systematically then. No, it was not one of those blocks, so I did that for nothing. Okay, that walker being in there is a little dicey. That bug is trying so hard to get out of that. Okay, I already pushed those. 4. Also, too many blobs. Alright, that's Ruined World. It's a level. What can I say? I will make 2 little disclaimers. I am glad this level did get into CCLP1 because we got JB's Flotsam and Jetsam that got into CCLP5, which is an incredible level that uses this as a base for the walls of CCLP1 set. Fantastic level. So I guess I'm happy this got in for that reason, but there's no way I could have known that, 12 years ago. And the other thing, why did the CCLP1 keep these blob cloners around the exit? Because it doesn't make sense in the context of the set. The reason why there are blob cloners around here is because in the original set, I think JCCLP1, where this was from, because that's what I submitted for CCLP1, the level right after this was blob heavy. I don't remember what level it was in particular, but it was a blob level. That's why the exit in this level was surrounded by blob cloners to kind of do that kind of story progression style thing, because that was something I was doing back then at the time, and maybe I should do that again someday because that can be fun. Yeah, I wish they removed them. I wish I caught that. I didn't think about it when they told me these levels were getting into CCLP1. I just said, I was just so ecstatic I got something into a CCLP at the time that I just didn't really think to mention that. So I guess that's my bad. Alright, mining for gold keys. This is a very, very interesting level. Interesting in a very good way, I should say. Okay, I do not have any yellow keys, or gold keys. Okay, can't go that way. Can't be oofing on walls like that, buddy. Okay, that cannot go that way yet. I can go down here. And get more. Oh, I can use this block right here. I didn't even notice that. Okay, it gives me a red key. I think that just lets me progress. And there's a blue key. I know there's a little bit of dead air right now, and I do apologize for that, but I have to say, this level is hella fun, man. I think I can confidently say this is probably my favorite level in CCLP1. Which I've never really thought about too much when it came to that. Okay, I think I might need this block. Maybe not. Yeah, this level is just, it's so fun to explore. It's, the vibe of this is just so different compared to nearly anything else I've played in CCLP1. And I'm glad this did not get renamed. I'm happy it was Sapphire Cavern that got the rename instead of this. Alright, one more chip behind a yellow door. And you know what? Maybe for a CC2 level, maybe I'll design something like this on like a bigger scale, like 40 by 40 or something. I know level size in CC2 does heavily matter in a lot of ways. Where the heck is this door I'm missing? But I think something like an exploration level like this, I think this has some good potential to be a little bigger in size. It's just trying to find that balance, you know. I think 40 by 40 would be perfect, or even 50 by 50 would probably be good too, but at that point, you know, you might be overstaying your welcome with the concept or something. I don't know, but I feel inspired to try to design something like that. So maybe I will for Flareon 3. Black hole. Space travelers should be aware of black hole ahead. Space enemies, you're welcomed in. And you did hear me correctly. Flareon 3 is now in development, ladies and gentlemen. During my downtime from not recording, okay, I'm not sure what the point of the Paramecia cloner is. You don't really need it. Well, you do, but it could have just been one singular Paramecia instead of a cloner. But yeah, Flareon 2 is complete with 40 levels. Okay, let's just do it the safe way. A little dicey.
Bummer.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We're just not locked in. We're not focused enough. That's all it is. This level is so strange. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through the other way around. Going through this way instead. Because I think that's what you're supposed to figure out, is you have to send the bugs through this way. This is kind of like the socialist action level of CCLP1 when you really think about it. Alright, black hole is complete. Strange level. Very strange level. Alright, Starry Night. On your right, wait for a monster to pass in front of you before moving another space. Pretty helpful hint. I think I used to rag on it back in the day, but I am getting older, so it's nice to have a reminder. Okay. Yeah, Flareon 2 is quite was quite a fun design experience, I have to say, at the end of the day. I'll probably talk more about it in Joshi than this set, but it is complete, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Definitely give it a try, if that is your thing. The thing I can say right off the bat about Flareon 2 is there's very, very minimal logic gate usage. No shade or anything whatsoever on logic gates themselves. I think they are fantastic tiles that have a lot of potential. I just do not have the brain power to actually use them well. There we go. Starry Night done. Now on to Pluto. Let's see where we at in recording time. 45 minutes. Kind of fitting to play this in the black and white tile set. Because I don't know about anyone, I can't speak for anybody else, but in my case, I can associate black and white with a sense of cold aura with it. And Pluto is a very, very, very cold planet. Okay. Okay, I guess I gotta go back. Now my leg's gonna go numb sitting like this. Okay, I do not think I can... No, I cannot get that chip. Must have missed that path the whole time. CCLP5 would have made that block required, by the way. In case it's not obvious, I am saying that with sarcasm. Because we all know it's true. I think as CC players, we have gotten to the point where we feel like everything you put in your level needs to have a purpose, and I am very guilty of this myself. I am not one to talk about in this way. I try to make everything useful in my level, because that's kind of, it's kind of sad, really, because there's a lot of levels I want to make where I don't want every block to be needed. I don't want every key to be needed or nothing. And I make some levels like this frequently. Or even all chips needed. But sometimes that that changes how some players feel. Do I have to fill all these in? Yes, I do. Okay. Some players have the expectation that you need everything, and when they find out you didn't, they end up not enjoying the level to its fullest potential because of an assumption they made that wasn't clear or something. Or in the case of this level, Pluto, that little block pushing bit, like, that could have been removed. That probably could have made the level better without it. But I love the fact that it's still in the level. And I think we need more of those kinds of levels, man. I really do. I hope CCLP6 can learn from... Well, I think CCLP5 suffered with the most. Well, it suffers from two things, really. It suffers from lack of designer variety, and just a lot of levels being samey. Also, I like this ending sequence with this pattern. That's very pretty, very nice. Alright, chip block galaxy. Zim is the password. Every block on these planets holds chips under it. And the other thing CCLP5 I think struggles with is a lot of levels just use everything. Which, yeah, that's the way, level design evolved. Got this itty bitty planet right there with walkers around it. This is one of my levels, by the way. Cannot remember if I played it already in Joshi. I don't think I did, or don't think I have yet. But it doesn't hold a lot of significance in terms of gameplay. It's just collecting chips under blocks. Like something like this, man. Like, you will never see a level like this in a CCLP again. And if you do, it's only because there's some gimmick attached to it. Like, am I wrong? I might be wrong. But in a lot of ways, I don't think I am. Like, I think the sense of design quality should always be present when it comes to official sets. I don't think we need to ease down on the quality we're looking for. I just think we can be a little less, a little bit more, I don't even know the way to describe it, honestly, but I just wish we were more in favor of, the levels that didn't have to do everything in one sitting. Because at the end of the day, it's a CCLP. The CCLP is going to accomplish something. It's going to accomplish the experience, not one particular level. And I think that's an important thing to remember. So if I ever do go back to CC1 design, which, knowing me, I probably will. In fact, that's a lie. I already am. There is a CC1 project in the works, but it is one I'm not speaking of much about because I want as little influence to its design as possible. I don't want to be actively, not put down, but I don't want to be publicly like, oh, you should be designing CC2 levels instead, There's a world where you can design for both games, and I think I'm in that world right now because I completed Flareon 2, which I'm super happy with. I'm happy with the way I finished up that set. Because that set took a long time to make, man. For 40 levels, especially. Welcome to Chip Grove City. Go through the city and get inside the Bitbusters Club building. The one with the sockets. Thank you, Joshy. This is another one of my levels. The one instance where you get a double Joshy content in CCLP1. I think all my other levels in this set, someone else's level came before or after. But yeah, Flareon 2 started all the way back in 2019. And it was stuck at like 6 levels for the longest time. And I designed maybe 3 or 4 more during COVID, and then that's when I got locked into those the CC1 projects, Trading Places, Walls of CCLP1, and even some personal antidotes of remaking some Josh L5 levels, which I'll still probably do every once in a while, but that's probably at the bottom of my CC1 designing priority list. Okay, where am I going? Oh, I'm going to the suction room, or force floor room. And you get that. And now I can go to the blob room, I think. Yeah, here we go. I didn't really get my Flareon 2 design streak until probably the end of 2024. Not too long after my grandmother passed away. And, maybe that was my way of coping with it. Yeah, did I just not go in here? I guess not. There's the key. I was wondering where that key was. Wandering around the city, like, where do I go? Yeah, you gotta go to the back rooms.
Bummer.
Wow, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That actually happened? Wow. That deserves a sip of soda for that. Top 5 ways to die in CCLP1, for sure. Also, I apologize, the sun is kind of shining through the curtain at this time, so it's probably hitting my face a little bit more than it usually does. It's crazy. Yeah, I just completely neglected to go through this teleport. Alright, let's do it without the skates. Because that was a brain fart. I normally never have the skates at that point in the level. And the other thing that kind of kept driving Flareon 2 design was, you know, Tyler has been a really big help with motivation and encouragement and stuff in that regard, and he doesn't realize it, but that really did mean a lot to me to get that kind of encouragement. Like, that helped more than I can give credit for. And when I started accepting that, you know, I just don't like building logic gate levels. And when I say logic gate levels, I more or less refer to, you know, those big mechanism levels like Flame Changer or Slither, stuff like that, or Double E Final and J Bones walls of CC1 and CC2 set. Okay, can I please get on? Thank you. Whoa. Almost got a ball in the face. I started accepting that, you know, I just don't want to build levels like this. You know, like there's plenty of designers that know how to do it way better than I ever could, and that shouldn't be like a stopping factor to learn or build my own anyway. But the reality of it is, it is a factor. And at the end of the day, I don't want to design something I'm not going to have fun playing myself. And the whole point of level design is to design levels you love playing. And I think the levels I made for Flareon 2 really showcase the kind of levels I have fun playing. There's lots of CC2 elements that can be used, and that you don't have to depend on logic gates to make your level fun, or some mechanism to make it, you know, cooler or whatever. But it took a long time for me to accept that. And just say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to design a variety level for CC2 because that's what I like to play. That's what I love making. The first 4 rows will show you where to bowl your blocks in 3 lanes. Gravel equals bombs, dirt equals chips. Okay, so I think they were both on the corners. Although I didn't need all 4 of them for that. It's probably going to get me later. Whew. Eye itching. Maybe I should have blown up this left side instead. Yeah, because now I can push a block up this. So I can go through here. And this room is quite different. I think it's literally just this. And yeah, I don't have any more blocks left because I didn't know you needed them for later. So, my bad. Okay. Let's do this room first.
Bummer.
Oh my god. I don't know why I thought that'd work. I am completely stupid. I don't know what made me think that'd work. I am playing... I'm really bringing my A game today, for sure. Okay, we're at over an hour, and I'm only on level 90. This is gonna be a movie, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, bring this over here. Because I just need 1 block in this room. Let's just get it now. Okay, and we know that there's nothing right here. So I can just do this.
Bummer.
Oh, I sent it down the wrong corridor. Come on, man. Why are we doing this? What are we doing here? I think we're fine. I think we have a spare block. Okay, actually follow it this time. Okay, now bring this with you all the way. Surely you won't mess up this time, right? Okay, yeah, well, you did have an extra block, so... Alright, bowling alleys is done. I don't know why we're struggling at that level, man. Wow. I can do it. I know I can. Chip thinks as the going gets tougher. Besides, Melinda Marvel waits at the end. Roundabout. Okay, this level's kind of cool. It's an invisible wall. It's got a fun little design to it. Oh, can't go any further than that. It's basically a fairly basic item swapper, just with the addition of these monsters and chips and the formations that they are in. Just press that again, and we go back. And pretty easy level. Cool. Alright, shifting maze time. And this is where we really need to lock in. You think I should divide this video into parts? I mean, some people really like the long form videos, but I'm always really sketchy about those actually being good for viewability purposes. Like, I personally like watching longer format videos or VODs a lot more than I used to. Nah, we'll keep it going. We'll just keep it going. Not like I ever get comments on these videos anyway. That say otherwise. And plus, YouTube has a pretty fun feature, and it's pretty good at remembering where you left off in videos, if you clicked off them at some point. So this used to be called the Shifting Maze and the Impossible Maze, but I guess the impossible part of the title didn't really add anything to the title, which kind of makes sense. It's kind of like Nuclear Energy for Dummies and Smarties got changed to just for Dummies for CCLP4. On the topic of doing this project series in the future, I am actually considering live streaming the remainder of this series. I think I would start with CCLP2. If I were to do this, I wouldn't do it for CCLP1. I'll continue this video format style for this set in CC1. But I think starting with CCLP2, I might go back to streaming. Or I might start streaming this series instead of recording it. Because when you really think about it, there's not much difference between this and Joshi in terms of what I talk about. And usually when I sit down to record a video, I always have to pick either this or Joshi. And most of the time I'd rather just play Joshi, because in the context of just recording it, I can speak my thoughts freely and not have any immediate sort of lashback about any of those thoughts. And honestly, I really don't get that much anyway, so I don't know why my brain makes me think I will get that. But that is how anxiety works, everybody. That's your lesson for the day. But I think what would help this stand out a little bit better is if it were streamed, because that way, now look how long the recording is. I'm at 1 hour and 15 minutes. That is before cutting any bits, by the way, which I think there will be. I'm going to definitely cut out some of those bowling alley instances, because a lot of those were just embarrassing. Not being locked in. And plus, if anyone wants to join in on those streams, I can interact with them. So that's something to consider. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. And Joshi will just stay free of being streamed. I did stream a couple of parts. Okay, they are all right there. I only need 2 blocks to get to those chips. Just gotta fill that in first. I can only get 2 of them. No, I just need 1 block for there. So I actually need 3 blocks. Okay, my bad. I also think I'm going to start pursuing some other non-CC content on this channel pretty soon as well. I do have a Pokemon Nuzlocke series recorded. Or the start of one recorded. I already have the very first episode made and basically ready to upload at a moment's notice. But I worry it would be like a sort of shock to everybody. Like, oh my god, he's playing a Pokemon game, not CC. Oh no, this isn't what I subscribed for. This isn't what I wanted to be notified of. By the way, if for whatever reason you do have notifications on for me specifically, you are a bro, and I love you. But I don't know. I think the gist of it is I really do worry too much about what other people think and what other people want. And I really gotta stop doing that. Like, it's important, but it's not that important, It should only matter with certain things, not with everything. But once again, that is how anxiety works, folks. I am probably doing this a completely stupid way, but I don't care. It's the way I found, and it's the way I'm doing it. Having to find reason to do everything you want to do, besides, you know, it just makes me happy. There we go. That was a satisfying way to exit, too. Cool level. A little longer, but I'm glad a level like this got into CCLP1, and honestly, like, same thing like I said about Ruined World or whatever it was, or Chip Block Galaxy. You won't see a level like this in a CCLP ever again. You never will. It just, no one would vote highly for it. They would see a bunch of blocks and a bunch of water and say, "Oh no, a lot of block pushing. 1 star." I don't want to play something like that again. All right, Flame War. Interesting level.
Bummer.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen at some point. Okay. Let's start with the top sections first. Whoops. Okay. I'm doing this in such a way that's not conventional in the slightest, but alright. Flame War done. I know there's a pair of flippers on the other side of that, but I thought about trying for it, but honestly, look, the time of this video is already long. I'm not going to make it longer if I can help it. Alright, Slime Forest. Holy cow. I forgot how this looked in black and white. This is pretty trippy. I actually have to look at the OBS screen to see where I'm going. Blobs on gravel in black and white. Is quite a aesthetic for sure. Also, I remember this used to be titled titled. Slime Cave. I guess they renamed it to Forest because there were already a lot of cave-like levels in the set, which makes a lot of sense, really. I completely missed that ship back there. But nice to have a maze. I feel like we were lacking a maze in this video, and this is a pretty good one. Alabit a little difficult to read in this tile set. Okay, there's a good amount of chips up here. This would probably look a lot nicer in CC2 since you can actually put chips and things on top of gravel. But when you're so used to the way you did it in CC1, you know, it's kind of hard to want to make that design change. And going back to the topic of streaming this black and white series with all the official sets, starting off with CCLP2 is honestly kind of ideal because let this video be a glimpse into the future on how long these videos could potentially be if I stuck with this 25 levels of video format in CCLP3, for example. Like, you really think I'm going to do level 100 to 125 or 101 to 125 in CCLP3 in one sitting? Absolutely not. That's just a lot to ask for. So I think doing it in the context of streaming it would be a lot nicer. It would let me kind of trim down the videos to actually post on YouTube. And or just leave the VODs up, I guess, you know. That's something I can do. But yeah, as the sets progress in difficulty, I'm not going to want to do these 25 levels of video thing because it's already almost an hour and a half. And it could just be the decade. It could just me being, you know, playing stupidly in a lot of places, which I have, but there's other times where I succeed when I don't expect to. In CC1's black and white playthrough, that was very evident with Blockbuster. I fully anticipated. I could have went up there the whole time. Did that for nothing. Yeah, Blockbuster. I fully expected to die like 20 times or something. And I only lost once, and it wasn't even to the block sliding parts. It was just some stupid maneuvering I did in the beginning of the level. Whereas something like bowling alleys in today's video, you know, I died like 5 times, all for stupid reasons. Oh, I can walk on these. Okay. Okay, this section always confuses me. Okay, I guess I'm heading backwards now? Okay, I think with all these boots, I can go back and read the hint. Right? Unless I die by walkers. Okay, let's see what we got out here. Skates. Psst. Try HIUR for a password. Cool little way to get to reach a secret hint, I gotta say. Alright, courtyard is completed. That was another Tom Patton special. Alright, going underground. We were just talking about this level earlier. Yes, you have to deal with the walkers. Lucky for you, there's a few water holes here. Yeah, this level is a little silly. But I see why it got into the set. I mean, I don't think there's any argument behind why it got in. There's a way to kill them, so you don't have to deal with them too much. Although I will say there are some bits in the chip placements I am not particularly happy with. I think this is pretty fine right like that. Particularly this section is a little dicey, and so are these 2x2 parts. And this is another instance where the ending of the level makes no sense in the context of the set, because the follow-up to this level in CCLP at the time was a fire and bug themed level, which this next level is not. So I kind of wish this was changed as well. But that's my bad. Not a bad level though. I mean, it's a walker level, but this could have been any other monster, and it probably would have been the same kind of level, honestly. Alright, Gatekeeper. I'm going to try to go through these a little faster, because I do realize I have been going quite slow. Try to get all these unlocked and ready to go. And I think they're ready for aim and fire. Cool starting room. Now we have this bit. This is kind of a cool level.
Bummer.
Why did I didn't have... Oh, I stepped in fire again. I did it again. I thought I had fire boots for some reason. Again. My god. Here we go. Oh, crap. Forgot to unlock a lock. Yeah, I absolutely can't keep doing these 25 level segments, man. This is getting... Even with an easy set like CCLP1, it's becoming a slog. Okay. Can we not step on a fire tile, please? There was no reason to do that, by the way. It's just, as I play for long periods of time like this, without a break, I have not stopped recording, by the way, in any capacity. I don't know what I'm waiting for. That stream is not going to end until I press that, and it'll just go somewhere else. I haven't stopped and took a break. I haven't done anything like that. And it gets exhausting after a while. But that is Gatekeeper. Done and done. On to Rat Race. I think I've near doubled the death count from what it was last time. I think 2 more and it will be properly doubled. Because we started at 19, right? Now, this is a pretty fun level. I like the theme of it, of going against the flow. I thought MSCC was going to keep me going there, but it did thankfully stop me. Kind of makes me think of like a Metropolis kind of scene. We got these ice bits. Okay, I think these last three we can get on the path with them. And just slide with them and get on your exit. Alright. Rat race is done. On to deserted battlefield, not just battlefield. Okay, luckily this is just another maze, which is very much welcome at this point. I forgot how to navigate through this, though. It can be a little tricky.
Bummer.
Yep, I knew there was going to be a block on top of fire somewhere. Okay. Okay, I could have pushed that from the beginning. I do know the exit is in the bottom left. Which I'm making good progress to get there. I think you're on a fire tile. I just pushed that. No, can it be on a... No, it can't. Okay, I was gonna say, there's no way it could be on a fire tile. There's no other way to get to the exit. Okay. Yeah, it was easy. I think last recording... Or the recording attempt I tried, I struggled with this one because it was towards the end of the video, but even though this one was way longer, I got through that pretty quickly. Oops, I dropped my green key. I'd better go and find a way to get it back. And the last level of today's video is Loose Pocket, which is also a fairly easy level once you know what to do, which is just that. And with that, as 100 levels completed for CCLP1. Besides being an angel on Earth, Melinda is the top scorer in the challenge and the president of the Pitbusters. That concludes today's video. Finally, after an hour and 45 minutes almost, we have finally concluded today's 25 levels. So, if you made it this far, I have to do this because my arms are killing me from sitting in one position for this long. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I think for the future, like I said, we're going to do... the sun is completely going to screw up my lighting here because I'm recording in the middle of the day. But The rest of CCLP1 will remain in this video format just because we're almost done with it. A couple more videos and we'll be done. But I think starting with CCLP2 and onward, we will change this to a streaming format. I will get a way to get chat present on the overlay here because there's plenty of room, more than enough room, and I can still keep track of the death counts and actually interact with you folks that watch at home. So that will be the plan moving forward for this series. I think it's a good idea, and Josh, he can remain as its own little video side series. And I talked about a Pokemon Nuzlocke project I have ready to go. That can be uploaded at any time. It's pretty much set in stone. It's just a matter of when I want to, and if I can find the motivation to pursue it, because I have really bad motivational issues. But that being said, I will not keep your time any longer. Thank you for watching very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for putting up with my stupid situations with deaths and stuff like that. And I will see you next time in the next video or whatever that might be. So take care of yourselves, everybody. Remember, you are loved. Happy Pride Month. That's a very big one. I forgot to mention this whole video. Happy Pride Month. It is June. And take care. See you all later.